Alright, hi everybody, it's Bonkai922. Figure I did the 12 Days of Anime, day 1. Let's get into some reviews. To Love Ru, this one was good. Like, really good. To a point. I think I'm gonna give this a 4. Yeah, definitely a 4. It seems like, this was episode 10 now, and it was called Past. Basically, majority of this episode was basically, the half of it pretty much was just a flashback, or at least telling of Golden Darkness's past, and she was telling this to Rito. She was telling him about before she was an assassin and she was created. She knew one person, and the person she knew was Tyr. She was a professor. She was, well, not a professor. She was a scientist who helped create Golden Darkness. But back then she wasn't called Golden Darkness. She was called Eve, which I find extremely funny because that's what one of the characters are called in Black Cat. So yeah, it fits to a point. So basically, they're stuck together still, Rito and Golden Darkness, and she's basically telling him the story of basically her creation when she was created, and well, she's telling the story also, Momo and Mika, they're starting some shit up to a point. So, and we see she's telling the story, Golden Darkness, to Rito about how she knew Tyr very closely. Tyr to her was like a mother or a sister, that kind of situation. That's what she was to her, and I thought it was very interesting to see this side of Golden Darkness. Yami. I can't say that word because people say, "Oh, we misspelled it. And like I said, her name was Eve, and we see her being motherlingly, Tyr to Eve, and she would cook food and make it horribly though, and take care of her very intently, and was showing her the side of being a person, of being human. Now, those were the light times. Golden Darkness is telling Rito, those were the times when she felt the most happiest, when she wasn't considered a weapon. Because the whole bit was that the organization that created her, it was a front. It was supposed to be a research institute, but it was a front for creating weapons, trans weapons for the Galactic War. And Tyr wanted to have Eve, back then, her name was Eve, have her have a life of being a person and not a weapon. But the guys there who were in the institute didn't want that. She was an obstacle, basically. Now, this is To Love Ru Darkness, so this is the whole bit on Golden Darkness, on Eve, on Yami, on the whole thing. Now, and then that's what happened. And basically, she then tells Rito further details of how then after that, though, the, planet Deviluk, Lala's father, he got involved, and he sought peace throughout the galaxy, and they destroyed that organization that was using her as a weapon. And then after hearing this story, Rito got really pissed off. He says, "Oh, if you stayed with her, you could have had a different life. You could have had a better life." And Golden Darkness, she's very perplexed. She's very perplexed. And she's like, he's my target, and why does it feel that, I feel so warm with him? She feels all these different feelings towards him. In some way, Golden Darkness is like a Shauna or a Louise or a Tyga. She's got that personality where she doesn't bring out her true feelings. You know the ones, Suderi, kind of personality. So that's basically what ends up happening. They come apart, and she's like, "I'm free finally!" Yeah. And then she punches him because it ruined the moment. And while he's unconscious, we see a moment where she's hugging him. So she feels, wants to feel the warmth of Rito's soul. So we have that. Then, next day, there was some scenes with Momo and Mikan, but nothing too serious. Next day, he goes back to school. There was another scene where we briefly see the master. Kurosaki's master. Now, we didn't get a lot. All we saw were her hair, kind of, which I think was like purplish. Her eyes were purple. That's all we saw. We didn't get a real good look at her because it was dark. So, that was the story. Now, he goes back to school, Rito, and, he's ready to go to class. And there's been a big announcement. And Lala's there and says, "Oh, Rito, come with me." There's a big announcement. And the announcement is a new teacher came in. And who's the teacher? Tear. The one that Don't Go the Darkness was talking about. She shows up out of the blue. And I'm like, when I first saw that, I said, "Get the fuck out of here." I thought it was like a trap or something. And he was shocked beyond belief, Rito. He couldn't believe it. But the logistics of it. And they're talking about it and everything in the class. They're goofing off. Everyone's like, "Oh, she's clumsy, she's blonde, she has big boobs," and glasses on, the typical Moe kind of character. Eventually what happens is, I think it's Ushiko, the ghost. She confronts Rito and tells her to go with him to Mikado Sensei's, the nurse's office, to explain. And what we find out is that Tear and Mikado were actually friends. They were classmates. They used to go to the same school when they were like 14. Like, Mikado was totally different. It wasn't as sexy and appealing as she was back then. And basically what happened was that Mikado went to search for her. Go figure, man. Wanted to go search for her, wanted to find out what was going on, wanted to bring her back and tell her, Eve is okay. And that's the whole bit. And she was crying, tears, very emotional, tear. And that was the whole bit. And so that's the story of how she came back. And then the only other thing that happened in this episode was we had Rito finally meeting up with Tear and telling her, "I know everything that happened." And it was this funny part where she falls down her glasses and goes, "Oh, I can't find my glasses." She's like a klutz. She's a blonde klutz, the whole stereotypical thing. And you see the principal there, and it's kind of a weird moment there. And principal goes after her because he's a pervert. So he runs away. Rito takes Tear away from the principal, running away in the hallway. And Lala uses one of her inventions. The one that transports him. Same shit. The same shit happens. Oh my god. He gets transported to outside, and his clothes are gone. And her clothes are gone. I was just like, oh my god. It was like those moments. And, she's naked. He's naked and everything and stuff. We're like, ah. And then here comes Goldark, just punches him. Just get away from her, and stuff. And we have this moment of them looking at each other. So it's one of those moments where, now that they're back together and they can pick up from where they last off, where they left off. And that was the whole bit. That was the episode about. Now, unfortunately, there's only 2 more episodes. But next week, wow. Next week's going to be really good. Because it seems like Mei Kurosaki, again, she's making her move. Now, like I said, this week's was called Past. Next week is called, let me just see what the chat. The Right Thing. What is a Way of Life? So, next week is pretty much going to be Kurosaki, and I guess she's going to try to do something. I don't know if she's going to try to kill Tear, but well, whatever the reason, that's the story. I mean, here's the thing. In the beginning of this series, which I didn't really understand, she was targeting Rito Kurosaki. And now it seems like that's not the case. This is the right thing. So, obviously, we're going to get to a climax because there's only 2 more episodes. Next week and the following week, and that's it. Done for To Love Ru. In fact, the only series that I'm reviewing currently that is going to continue onward is Peko no Sakuraso and JoJo. So, yeah. Those are the only 2 that are going to continue onward. SAO is going to be done. To Love Ru Darkness is going to be done. And from what I understand, I'm not 100% sure on it, but from what I understand, Psycho Pass is going to be done. So that's going to be 3 animes that I'm going to be finished reviewing. So yeah. But this was a good episode. I liked the whole, past thing with Golden Darkness. And the fact that her name back then was Eve. I thought that was great. I thought it was really interesting. They put that in there. 4 out of 5. I liked it. This was a good episode. It really knits things together. And now going from that to next week with Kurosaki, I think by, not next week, the final episode, episode 12, I have a feeling we're going to get the identity of this master, what she just looks like, the whole 9 yards, and what's going to happen. Because I can see a lot of things happening, but see, the thing is, I can't see anyone like dying or anything, but at the same time, I don't know, it just seems weird that, final episode, I can see a confrontation happening. I definitely can see it for the final episode between Golden Darkness and his master. And, Rito and Tear being the linchpins to keep Golden Darkness from becoming a weapon again. Because that's the whole bit. It's the master and Kurosaki. Those are the 2 that are fucking, trying to get her to become a weapon again. And she doesn't want that. So, yeah. But this was a good episode. I like the whole past. Like I said, it's good to see that. Good to see now that Golden Darkness, she really is starting to have feelings for Rito. And is confused about a few things. But at the same time realizes, I want to feel that emotion, that warmth of another person. Have a friend, kind of thing. Which is, a thing. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty good episode. I enjoyed it. Tell me what you guys think. Comments below. You know what the story is. Rate, comment, subscribe. And today I'll do birthday 2. 12 Days of Anime. And I'll also do Fairy Tale. I'll try to do it after this video. Watch the episode and review it. So yeah. And that's all I got for you guys. Some Bonka 922. I'll see you guys later. Tear. Classical blonde klutz glasses. Big boobs. Moe anyone? See ya.